one of the great coaches of high school wrestling and produces some champions. So it's great to see him at these dual meets, but also producing guys that we get to root on in the maize and blue.
100%. Back to our feet here as Whitmer hits an escape.
And I liked how Dylan finished that. That takedown right there. He does a really good job of securing takedowns quickly and not allowing a lot of room for scrambling. And I think that
once again down on those legs.
And as I say that, that kind of low double shot, head in the knee. I think it's becoming a really popular shot in college wrestling because you just don't see as much defense for it. If you can get your head and run the corner the right way and get that shot off clean, it's an easy finish, and it doesn't burn a lot of energy, it doesn't burn a lot of clock, and so.
Well, guys are so good at scrambling now. I mean, you see guys all the time doing kind of roll throughs and try and grab other legs and work for a stalemate even in some circumstances. But yeah, that shot really eliminates a lot of those extra scrambles. One thing about Ragusin too that's really impressive is he's got such an arsenal. He can go upper body. He can attack low to the ankles. He's got your more traditional underhook to a single leg. How much does that help, just being that dangerous in so many different positions?
Oh, I think it's almost a requirement of being, a high-level wrestler. And nice reversal there from Whitmer.
That was impressive. Yeah, Ragusin got a little out of position on top there and ended up giving up the reversal.
Yeah, right at the buzzer too. So if you're Whitmer, you got to be happy about that ending, end of the first period finish. But a little bit back to what I was saying, I think wrestling has become so dynamic that you really can't be a one-trick pony at this point, at this level, especially if you're looking to be an All-American or a national champion. You have to have, multiple different tools in your arsenal to be able to go out there. And, if you're a great single leg, if you have a great single leg, you might have to develop a low single or a high crotch, right? Or even become a great hand fighter to kind of be able to mask the great high crotch, speaking of, right there from Ragusin.
Well, you were talking about great hand fighting. That's kind of how we got in there. He just got physical, went in, and was able to get that attack off. But, again, he's finishing these shots quickly.
Yeah. I always love to say, whenever I'm working with high school or youth wrestlers, that it's really important to spend time on the way you're making contact and your hand fighting tactics, because in high school, a lot of the times, if you get to a certain level where you're going to wrestle in college, a lot of the guys you wrestle, you might just be able to go out there and take a shot and take the guy down. But once you get to college, you realize hand fighting becomes a much bigger part of the battle. And so, that takedown was really just a textbook example of, right, he got to a hard collar, got to what we call his heavy set. He knows that's where he can get to an attack, and just setup becomes basically muscle memory. And that's what it takes at this level, I think. It's really important to hammer that in.
Looks like Dylan was called for locked hands at some point.
Yeah, so we have a close duel. We have a close match here, although,
yeah.
Ragusin's kind of been in the driver's seat, 9-6 currently.
Tough sequences on top for him, giving up that reversal at the end of the period, and then a locked hands and the escape there. But he still has the only takedowns of the match. So despite the closeness in the score, he's been pretty well in control. But anything can happen. This is D1 wrestling.
Yeah, I think if you're Whitmer, you're looking to slow this match down and really try to go get one in the third period. If you're Ragusin, you're thinking, forget about those two little mishaps and really try to blow this match open going into this third period.
Yeah, he's got to be pretty motivated here to go out here and put up a couple takedowns and blow this one wide open.
Yeah, and takedown and escape, and you're back in major position. So.
Whitmer putting on a good ride though right now.
Yeah. The first move, Dylan did a good job with his first move, but there was just a nice counter there by Whitmer. He's kind of riding that near wrist. A great position, like I said, if you want to eat up clock and slow the match down.
Well, and if you're Ragusin too, I mean, yeah, you want to get that major. You want to, secure your riding time or keep that intact. And here he goes.
Yep.
Gets his leg up, gets the reversal of his own, keeps his riding time intact, and now he can go to work on top if he wants, or cut and go for the major. Which is exactly what he does.
And so now Ragusin in a position to get a major decision here, but Whitmer kind of in a position that's keeping him in this match.
Ooh, nice slide by.
And that's what you're talking about, Kevin, when you said he's got a deep arsenal. I mean, he can shoot every which angle, and then he can also kind of transition to some upper body takedowns, some slick, nasty slide by, and he goes for it again right there. And so he chooses to go back up to the feet to secure the major. He could have secured it with a ride out, but he kind of wanted to, put an emphasis, kind of a stamp on it.
Yep.
19 seconds left. Let's see if he can get it here.
I assume you'd want to go to your number one attack here, but yeah, there's the stall call.
So that's his first stall call, I think. So Dylan will have to.
He pushed him right out of bounds. There's the second one.
So Ragusin kind of gets the major in a very unique way. Back-to-back stall calls.
Well, and that's one of the emphasis that they put on the last couple of years. He had already backed up to the edge, which got the first stall call put on him. And then, when you then don't fight harder to get back in the middle. But here's series history. Michigan is 4-0 against Columbia. They last met in November 2023, where Michigan won 33-6 last season. If I remember correctly, I think the 6 was just the void at 133 with Cannon getting hit in the head.
Yep, that's correct. Yeah, so Michigan holding the all-time series. Not the longest series, 4 total dual meets, but I think that those have all been in recent years. So something that Michigan kind of emphasizing earlier in their season is some out-of-conference duels, and looking for some teams that they can wrestle against that they won't necessarily see until the NCAA tournament. So Columbia could be one of the teams that seems like the name is in the hat for future dual meets. So we might get to see this showdown not just this year, but in years to come.
Well, and especially with new head coach Donnie Pritzloff, who spent some time here in Ann Arbor on the coaching staff, and within the Big Ten when he was competing in Wisconsin, and as a coach most recently at Rutgers before taking over the program at Columbia this year. So a lot of familiarity amongst the coaches, and hopefully we can keep this battle back and forth going.
Yeah, I think that I'm very impressed with the move that Columbia made by bringing in Donnie Pritzloff as the head coach after Tonelli left. I think they had a lot of question marks with who was going to fill that position, and they couldn't have picked a better guy. Donnie is somebody that spent some time at Michigan I got to know, and there's not many coaches like Donnie Pritzloff. I think he's a world-class coach, world-class wrestler as well, and he made sure to bring on also a world-class staff, which is just as important. And Sebastian Rivera, who just won an Olympic bronze medal this year at the Paris Olympics. He won a silver medal the year prior, multiple-time All-American from Rutgers. Jeff Buxton, who for wrestling fans know he's one of the all-time great high school wrestling coaches at the Blair Academy. And then finally Greg Molsak, who's a Rutgers, Clarion and Rutgers native of college wrestling, multiple-time All-American, who will be phenomenal for the upperweight guys. So this is a world-class coaching staff. I mean, I think that Columbia is really looking upward with what they have now in store.
100%, and one of the things, too, that's interesting with Sebastian Rivera, he was a Northwestern guy as well. So he's certainly aware of the academic aspects that you have at a place like Columbia that the athletes have to go through as well. But we're back at it here. We've got Sergio Lemley from Michigan, currently ranked 8th in the country, against Kai Owen, currently ranked 27th for Columbia. So this should be, a good matchup of 2 guys ranked in the country.
Yeah, one of our 2 ranked matchups tonight, and I'm excited for this one. I've got to watch Kai Owen wrestle a little bit, just being a fan of the sport, and he's got some interesting funk in his style. And if you know Sergio, he's kind of I want to say the opposite, but he also has funk, but he's really known for his kind of bull mentality, where he just wants to move forward and run right through you, and he's not going to stop wrestling until the whistle blows. And so I think that this clash of matchups could be really interesting.
Yeah, well, definitely difference in stature between the two. Sergio, stockier. Wow, a little good action on that inside reach single. Going to isolate that leg, come up with it. Owen doing a good job trying to lock in the crotch or around the leg there, but Sergio is stingy.
Great takedown.
Just workmanlike.
Yep, and in that position, that's exactly what you want to be, workmanlike. You don't need to do anything, explosive or flashy. It's just controlling the position and slowing him down and kind of trying to control one limb at a time, and then waiting for that little window, which he did, and get your takedown.
Yep. I always say, coaching kids, you can't skip steps. You got to go step by step through that process to finish that single. Nice job by Owen to clear his hips there and get up. Get the escape right back up. Trying to go get a takedown of his own.
Yeah, Sergio, one thing is, I think we saw it right early on, is Sergio, if he can continue to get to the legs and be methodical with his finishes, he's a really hard guy to wrestle, because he's going to set a pace that, and great shot there as I say that, but he's going to set a pace that a lot of guys cannot hang with. But it just is a matter of limiting points early in the match and then trying to tack them on late in the match. I think that's when we've seen him wrestle his best. And so Sergio's going to have to watch out for the neutral danger here. And as he does that, continues to scramble. Looked like he was going to give it up there, but magically.
That was close. Got his hips out. Owen doing a really good job still having that ankle and securing it. But Lemley's got him now in neutral danger.
So here,
I thought you would get some swipes, but
no swipes. And in that position, you're looking to get a guy on his back for 3 seconds or more to secure the takedown in kind of a 50-50 position.
This scramble's been going on for about 40 seconds. Real close.
Just in the nick of time, saved by the bell, is Kai Owen.
Very exciting exchange there. All started from that low ankle shot from Owen, and both guys looked like they were going to give up takedowns, a couple different times in that scramble.
Yeah, I think they were playing the far ankle game there. I think Lemley, at a point in time, he was in a crackdown position, but then was able to kind of find far ankle and look for a little bit of a crotch lift and trying to do some back exposure. But that's a really interesting position there, is when you're in that neutral danger position. It's almost like you want to make sure you're trying to secure the takedown before you look for neutral danger. Because as you can see, sometimes the refs are a little bit slow to call.
Lemley doing a really good job, though, of securing those legs from the bottom position and getting that reversal.
Yeah, that did not look comfortable for Lemley. When you get a guy that tall throwing legs in, you sometimes worry, but he did, again, just a great job of being patient and finding his little opening, getting the reversal. Back up to our feet.
One thing that doesn't always show through when watching wrestling on TV or streaming is the physicality of these matches. I mean, these tie-ups, they're not gentle. But when you're here in person, it's intense. It's loud.
Yeah, we have the headsets on, and you can still hear some of those clubs, banging against the headgear. And you wonder, nice sweep single there from Lemley.
Oh, and he did a nice job clearing his leg. He sensed that Owen was going to try to dive through there, and he just cleared his leg and secured the takedown.
Yeah, Lemley has done a great job of neutralizing the scrambling abilities of Owen in this match. Between the leg in and clearing the leg to a reversal, his first shot, kind of finishing really methodically through the middle. And then that shot right there, right? That dive through can put you into a 50-50, if not a kind of disadvantage, and he just shut it down right at the, right at the beginning.
Well, and the only time we've been in a scramble really in this match was off of Kai Owen's shot, so we talked earlier about Ragusin finishing his takedowns quickly and cleanly, and certainly that message has been delivered to Lemley as well.
I think so. Still 2 minutes to go, though, third period. Owen starts down. Nice return from Lemley.
Shane Sparks has got to like that.
Yeah, and I think that's something that even with the mat return that I've seen we emphasize, and I know that the best programs emphasize, is the mat return is half the battle, right? Once you get a guy down, you could mat return him 5 times and he can come back up. But it's kind of like the transition wrestling that I was talking about earlier, or, flow wrestling, whatever you want to call it, where you want to find a wrist or a tight waist. As soon as you get to that mat return, you're looking to get this guy into a position where you can hold him down, and break him down to his belly.
Well, and some of it's that mental game too, just showing somebody that, yep, I'm going to pick you up and I'm going to put you back down.
Yep.
Keep trying to get up, but we're just going to end up right back here.
And the mental game, speaking of, this is where Lemley thrives,
Yeah.
in these minute left situations. A lot of guys are looking, at, all right, I have a major secured, but I think Lemley is smelling blood right now, and he's looking to get every score he can before that final whistle blows.
Well, you talked about the pace early in this match that he puts on. That's certainly been shown here.
Great job to continue the scramble here by Owen, though.
He's getting close to that neutral danger call. There it is.
We got one swipe.
Want to watch that knee. Lemley doing a good job of continuing to fight in this position.
They're trying to score here.
Yeah, Owen looks like he's kind of looking for the stalemate at this point.
Yeah,
he's trying to bring that leg up and out. Choke it. Ooh, watch the knee. Yep, that's close.
Yeah, that's a tough position for both guys, especially Lemley, where it seems like he can just slip his leg out and get the takedown, but it's almost like you got your foot stuck in mud, when a guy's holding it there.
Yeah.
And a 12-4 major decision for Sergio Lemley. A great job to just a workmanlike match, kind of what we expected, but really neutralized the dynamic, the scrambling of Owen, and just.
Oh, absolutely. Well, and we kind of breezed over that last takedown that he had. He got it so quickly, but that's really what he needed to get that win there. There you see Sean Bourmet, head coach of the Michigan Wolverines. 8th season with Michigan, 75 and 25. Was an assistant on the staff with McFarland before then. Obviously, he coached you. Talk a little bit about Coach Bourmet and his impact on the program over the years.
Yeah, Sean is a great mentor to me, and still continues to be a great mentor as, I've continued into the senior level of wrestling after Michigan. He's, you see the record, 75 and 25. You don't see that with a lot of coaches, especially in their first few seasons. He came in and made an immediate impact, and I think that Coach McFarland was, gave him a great program to start off with, and he was an assistant coach building the team. But Sean has always been a great mentor and a big reason why I came to Michigan. So, to see him continue to thrive and build what he's built at Michigan, it was no surprise. I knew when he stepped into my kitchen to recruit me, there was something special about what he was trying to build. And he's done it with even his staff that he's built between Josh Torella, Kevin Jackson, Dave Boyard, and then Jack Medley and Alex Daringer kind of being an extension of the coaching staff of former wrestlers. So it's they're building something special at Michigan, and I've been really excited and happy to be a part of it. And being able to talk about it down here, I'm just as excited and ecstatic. So
awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Here we have Zar Walker from Michigan at 149 jumping in here. Usually we have Dylan Gilcher, but he'll be out for this duel.
Yep, and Zar Walker is the younger brother to Joseph Walker, who we'll be getting to see a little bit later tonight at 174 pounds. So if you know Michigan wrestling, you know we have a decent amount of sets of brothers. So it's exciting to see a fresh set of brothers getting to tagline a duel tonight. And his opponent is Richard Fedolin from Laurel, Maryland, who is a junior and has had some experience. I think he was a starter last year and got to wrestle some in Columbia's lineup. So Zar is kind of the fresh guy out there.
Well, how nice is it, to get that experience as a freshman, to jump in there, put on the maize and blue, and to compete, I know you wrestled early in your career, so what is it like jumping in a big duel situation like this?
I think you have to look at it like it's an opportunity, right? That's the best framing you can have. Is not many guys get to toe the line, wear the maize and blue. You have 30 guys on the roster, and only 10 guys get to usually compete. So, when I stepped out on the mat, I know that I was looking to always kind of rise to the occasion, right? And I knew that I trained really hard. And Zar, I've seen him; he trains really hard. So you just have to. As much as you're rising to the occasion, you got to fall back on your training too, and be able to go out there and remind yourself that this circle is the same circle that you've wrestled in since you were a kid. And I think that the nerves are part of it, but the more you can kind of just limit the external noise and just focus on treating it like any other wrestling match, I think that's where you can break through as a freshman. And there's a level of confidence that you have to have that I know Zar has, that also is a big help. If is confident in not knowing that you're the freshman, right?
The irrational confidence is certainly helpful sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm a big proponent for it. I have plenty of it, so.
The irrational confidence is what got me on the mic tonight, I think.
There we go. Strong first period for Fedolin. Racks up 111 of riding time and a solid takedown. He's going to choose bottom, it looks like, for the second period here. Looking to
and 12 escapes versus Michigan's 1. Kind of an interesting statistic, right?
Yeah.
I think if you're Michigan, you're okay with being the one with less escapes. That means that you're getting the takedowns, right?
Yeah, let's show that graphic. Takedowns graphic might be a little lopsided as well.
Yeah, but back to talking a little bit more. We were talking about the coaches and
nice escape.
Great escape. I think that if you're a coach, if you're Coach Bourmet here, you're almost doing this in a strategic way, right? It's great to have freshmen stepping in and kind of seeing where they kind of size up.
So there's that graphic. Columbia has 10 takedowns. Michigan has 3. That doesn't seem right.
I feel like we might have to fix that graphic.
Did it need to say 30? Ooh, nice move there from Zar to clear that tie up.
For the elbow shuck and getting underneath.
The action is picked up here.
And Walker showing some of his explosive nature. I think that, if you're Zar out there, you're looking to get to your strong suits, which are those kind of high leg, upper body finishes, avoid the scrambles. But you want to stay in on the leg there. I think that's he kind of, as a freshman, that's something that.
I like that mat awareness, though. He did a good job right there. Instead of kind of conceding and backing out, circling his way back in, and then even taking the action out of bounds himself. So, despite being down 4-0 right now, he's certainly showing some maturity and mat awareness for a freshman. Fedlin, though, doing the same thing, being a veteran, you know, being somebody who's been in the lineup before and been in a lot of these big college matches. He's doing a great job controlling the center of the mat, pushing Zara to the edge.
Yeah, I think here you have a young buck that has a lot of explosive talent, probably more likely to make mistakes. But in that same regard, it's a double-edged sword where he has the offense to create a lot of explosive action, and Fedlin just doing a really great job of staying in good position, looking for those little windows of opportunity that you can spot as a veteran, and trying to capitalize on those.
Absolutely. Really, really controlling with those underhooks.
And a stall call, which will make the match 5-0, Fedlin.
How much does a game plan like that, like knowing that you've got those stall calls and you're able to control that, does that change his approach as far as, you know, attacking a score versus attacking?
There it is, by the way. 10 takedowns.
There we go.
3 for Columbia.
There it is.
We spotted that one pretty quick, Kevin. You know, our wrestling math, we might not be great mathematicians, but our wrestling math is at least pretty solid.
Wrestling math is strong. That's like a level above algebra.
But back to Walker, I think that, yeah, I mean, that stall call really does change this match because you're looking at, you know, you can get an escape and a takedown if you don't give up that stall call and the match is tied. But now you're looking at, you know, riding time adding up right now, and once you get out, he almost does
so
right there.
Close.
Let's see if he can clear it.
Fedlin doing a really good job again of just that mat awareness, knowing that he wasn't fully cleared yet, circling behind him.
Yeah, and if you're Walker now, you're looking at him, you know, short time and really having to go, right? There's really no other game plan than go. You're really pulling all the tricks out of the hat, trying to get up to your feet first, right? It's hard to create offense from the bottom position. So,
well, and at this point too, you know, dual wrestling versus tournament wrestling changes a little bit, right? I mean, here's Zara, you want to, you know, go out there and try to get the escape and get a takedown and ultimately win the match. But also from a team score standpoint, you don't want to give up a major.
Yep. And I think that you could see Fedlin a little bit kind of creating that game plan of looking for a major.
Yeah.
Kind of lets him go there.
Zara doing a good
job.
Love he's not going to go down without swinging. Literally sometimes.
No pun intended.
Yeah.
Yeah, the physicality. If you can't see that, you know, on TV, that's what we're talking about with those heavy clubs and physicality.
Yeah. Nice job clearing that tie again.
Action picking up. 20 seconds left in this bout. Great shot from Walker. Let's see if we can finish this.
Inside reach single.
Won't secure the match, but maybe a consolation takedown. And Fedlin looking to get a major here.
Zara doing a great job holding on. Exactly. Keeps it a regular decision. Goes down swinging.
Great match from both of these guys.
Absolutely.
You know, Fedlin, I think, being the veteran, doing a great job, like I said, finding his windows and capitalizing. Even, you know, just from a hand fighting standpoint, getting the underhook, getting that stall call was crucial. But Walker not going down without a fight.
Not at all, man. It was you got to be excited if you're the Michigan staff, you know, to see a guy go out there, wrestle really, really hard all the way through the 7 minutes. And again, you know, kept it a regular decision, which is always good for the team score. Up next, we'll have Dominic Rossetti for Columbia going up against Zach Matten for the Wolverines here.
Yeah, so Zach Matten, one of the many Matten boys that have come through Michigan. You know, his brother Cole and Drew both of my teammates. And it's great to see, the family legacy continuing, and Zach getting a chance right now to, toe the line for the Wolverines. I think that Zach has really put in his time. He's worked really hard and worked for opportunities like this. So I'm excited to see the outcome of this match. I think Rossetti's a good opponent and should see some fireworks. We've seen a lot of them tonight, huh, Kevin?
Oh, absolutely. And again, just going back to Matt, and he's been a guy who's been battling to get into the lineup. I mean, it's tough always at Michigan to be that starter. So it's exciting to see him get this opportunity today against Columbia.
Yeah, and Zach is a graduate student, so this is his 5th year, which is common in wrestling. But a lot of other people, they think you're going to be a doctor, which I believe Zach Madden is going to be a doctor if he's following in his family's footsteps. Which
those Mattens love being doctors.
It's good for the wrestlers because they can go see somebody from all the years of injury that have accumulated.
Exactly. There's Donnie Pritzloff, what we talked about earlier, first season as head coach. Was associate head coach at Rutgers the 10 seasons before then. Had a lot of success there. I think he coached 2 national champions there at Rutgers while he was there. So there's Zach coming out here ready to go.
A Delta, Ohio native, which is not too far from Michigan. It's a little bit over an hour. Matten coming out and coming forward right away.
A lot of movement, a lot of good hand fighting from him.
Nice shot there.
Saw him working for that 2-on-1 earlier. Uses it to post up and get on that single leg. Just got to pull that in, keep it in bounds.
Yeah, this is an interesting spot here, right? He's got double duty trying to finish the shot but also not go out of bounds, and we do go out of bounds.
It's hard enough to finish the shot, let alone to keep it, within a small area. They're back on their feet. Matten goes right back to that 2-on-1.
You don't see the 2-on-1 too often in college, so I always love to see guys still utilizing it. I think it's a great way to basically shut down a guy's offense while working towards yours. And at the very least, when you wrestle, guys that have high flying offense, if you're used to a 2-on-1 position like this, you can really kind of counteract any of his offense.
Well, it isolates a whole side.
Yep.
And if that's the side you want to attack with, then you're even in a worse spot. I was going to say, Matten was doing a really good job controlling kind of the mat.
No takedown yet.
Yeah, not yet.
And are they going to award it? Nothing.
Pretty close.
We're battling on the edge, and the challenge brick comes out.
There it is.
A lot of threes coming from the Columbia bench, including Coach Donnie Pritzloff. I think they thought that they got a takedown secured right there. So we're going to go to the booth. And
yeah, I would be interested to see the replay there because it looked like, he went in on a shot, just kind of lost the edge, and then tried to stand up real quick to not, give up that takedown.
Yeah, and for wrestling rules are changing all the time, right? So, for the most up-to-date rule, you have to secure the position, which it was
different last year.
Yeah, so it was different. It was different last year.
Yeah.
Okay.
It was the way I remember it is it was basically like there was no reaction time.
Yep.
And now there is.
So there was reaction time last year, I believe, because I remember a few NCAA finals matches that were decided by the reaction time.
You're correct. It was 2 years ago.
Yep. So last year was the first year where we introduced reaction time, which, to dumb it down, is basically if Zach's hand would have touched and he was behind, that's a three-point takedown in the past. But now he needs to basically secure the position in order for the ref to award the takedown, which is a little bit more subjective, but it allows for, I think, more scrambling, more kind of consistency in a way that a lot of times it's a flash takedown and then a guy can come up to his feet and you award 3, and it gets a little confusing in that way as well.
Yeah, no, 100%.
So I think that's what we're looking at. We're looking at, you know, in the traditional sense, I know a lot of you watching might have thought it's a takedown, but he needs the reaction time of Matten. It is taken into consideration with that takedown. So he had to fully secure the takedown, which that is what the refs are deciding right now. Was he behind, and was Zach's hand down for long enough to secure it?
Yep. It's going to be close. It's going to be close, and it's one of those things, too, where, you know, if they didn't rule it a takedown first, is there going to be indisputable evidence to overturn it, right? Which I don't know if they're going to get, but time will tell here. Time will tell.
And if they're showing, I think we got a shot of Matten, and he's already got a nose plug in.
There we go.
That's a signature Matten nose plug right there. I think they've taken up probably a couple 100 pounds of nose plugs over their time with the Wolverines.
I like it. Well, again, there's that physicality we were talking about. Let's see what we got. And they said there's the takedown. Good challenge by Pritzloff and company. So Rossetti gets the first takedown. Very impressive for him to win that exchange. Nice mat return for him as well.
Yeah, I was really impressed with Rossetti's ability to kind of stay on that takedown too. After, you know, I think that he really made a case for himself for the takedown, because there was probably 2 or 3 times where the refs could have called the takedown. He made sure that when they went back and reviewed that evidence, that, you know, he could state his case pretty clearly.
Yeah, you could call it here, or here.
Yeah. We're back up to our feet though. Matten with the escape.
Again, staying physical with that hand fight. A lot of movement you'll see from Matten. Ooh, nice fake.
Yeah, he just got to control that far arm, and kind of went hip toss almost in a way. Tried to scoot by him, but Matten scrambling out cat-like. And there it is again.
Rossetti with some slick moves here. Just getting the edge, getting the angle.
And yeah, it looks like, right, from watching, Matten is the aggressor. But Rossetti is just doing a great job of using Matten's aggression to kind of counter that and get to some scoring opportunities.
If you're Matten, are you kind of recognizing this in the moment and thinking, all right, maybe the movement isn't helping, or do you stick to your game plan?
I think you have to stick to your game plan, you know, and just trust that there's going to be multiple opportunities to get to your score, and also that everything you're doing is wearing, right?
Nice
as I say that, you know, Matten getting caught underneath, but clinching, controlling in this position. And yeah, I've been really impressed with Rossetti. I think it does throw you off a little bit to say, at least question, am I doing the right thing?
Mm-hmm. Rossetti's just doing a good job holding position, not doing too much.
It's a call.
Ooh. Illegal hold of some sort?
Yeah.
1 point, Michigan.
Illegal hold. I'm not totally sure what that was for, but that makes this match more interesting now. You know, 3-2.
Matten continuing to move aggressively, continue to try to isolate that that right arm of Rossetti.
I was wondering when that 2-on-1 was coming back. Beautiful
nice
shot
slow
from
attack.
Rossetti. Just timed that leg coming forward perfectly.
Again, just you got to isolate the leg here. You got to choose where you're going to attack.
Yep.
Methodically move through the position.
He's doing a great job just slowly shifting his hips, trying to get his belly down to the mat. And as I say that, Matten does a great job of rolling him through and speeding up that process to get to more of a 50-50 position.
And a stalemate. How often do you get in that position in practice and just like have to keep wrestling? Or do you just stop there too?
I think that's a position that is really emphasized in practice, but also just when you're in live, like you said, scrambling has just become more and more popular with college wrestling, especially with the folk style rules. There's no exposure, right? You can roll and kind of create these crazy positions without giving up points. So that position I am in very often, and I love to talk about it because I think that I that's kind of was my bread and butter in college. Was I like to shoot, so you had to figure out how to finish from there. And I think guys are really good defensively there. It's just a point of emphasis for a lot of guys once they get to college to play in that position. So that's where my advice of being methodical, I guess it comes from a little bit of experience that, when I was a freshman, I thought, just try to bust out and like you said, I was the one that was skipping steps and trying to get straight to the takedown and kind of learn the hard way. So it really is a position where you just have to secure one leg at a time or really know what your focus is. And then it's just and there's always going to be that element of, a guy can just be holding you too tight in that position to create anything from it. So now it's, all right, let's get a stalemate and just get back up to our feet.
Absolutely. Matt doing a really good job not getting that return there. The rule in college wrestling is you have to let him go after a couple seconds. Otherwise, they'll call stalling from the top man there. So Rossetti doing a good job letting him go to avoid the stall call. And all of a sudden, it's a 3-3 bout. No riding time in the third.
Yeah, and this is where, if you're Matt and you're thinking, okay, I'm hoping this is where my game plan plays off, right? I've done a really good job of pressuring forward. Hopefully it's wearing on him a little bit. And, I can get to my go-to attack with a little bit less resistance from him. Now, Rossetti has done a great job this whole match of kind of showing that game plan, shutting it down, right, and almost presenting an offense of his own from his defense. So,
absolutely.
I think we'll see something exciting with 45 seconds left in the match. That's something I'm sure of.
Ooh, a nice shot from
As I
Rossetti.
said, a great double leg.
Oh, and good defense from Madden. Putting that whizzer on, hipping down hard.
And Madden's got to keep wrestling in this position.
He's got his leg caught in the middle there.
Yep, you want to just put as much pressure on that left side and as he does there, just to kind of create that stalemate. Great job from Madden to counteract that double.
You'd rather be on your feet in the open than fighting from that whizzer position.
Yeah, he was in deep right there, Rossetti was. And, I think that that whizzer came out of desperation, but, sometimes desperate times call for desperate measures, and gives himself another chance, another day to fight.
Well, just like early in the match, that pace of Madden is looking good right now. Rossetti's kind of on his heels, trying to circle back in. This last second shot from Rossetti.
And we're going to overtime.
Here we go.
Our first overtime of the season here, of the dual meet season, that is. Sudden victory, 2 minutes on our feet. First takedown wins. If not, we'll go to rideouts. But the way this match has been going, we might see a takedown. We'll see.
Yeah,
it's hard to call.
You got to love a match that's 3-3, but you feel like the action was much more than that. That's definitely been this one so far. A lot of good attacks, a lot of good. And a nice head tap. Hit on the high crotch. He's going to elevate this one, or he's going to isolate that leg again. Meanwhile, Rossetti's trying to kick out in the armpit. Oh,
wow,
and another
great
scramble.
job from Madden to continue that roll through.
He's got to hold on to the leg and get those hips down.
Nothing yet.
Rossetti, meanwhile, trying to step over and collect that leg.
As long as Madden can keep that grip right there, he'll be okay.
And they're on the edge of the mat. Oh, and he's going to hip in.
Try to jump his hips over, but he's got to be careful that he doesn't overextend himself.
Meanwhile, Rossetti's trying to secure that leg.
And wow, Madden looking at.
Oh, no, now he's in trouble.
There's the three-point takedown for Rossetti.
A wild scramble turns
What a
into,
finish.
Yeah. Very impressive takedown for Rossetti.
Yeah, Rossetti found himself kind of back and forth there, but stayed on the leg and ended up in a kind of a funky position to finish the match.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like it could have gone either way, but Rossetti just comes out resilient there.
Was looking for near fall even at the end. The way
yeah, and he did get some near fall.
That got caught. So nice win for Rossetti.
3-point takedown, 2-point near fall to end the match.
Absolutely. And we finished the first half of the duel here. Michigan up 12-6.
Yeah, an impressive win for Rossetti there. So that one puts Columbia on the board. Oh, actually, the match before did.
Yes.
But that's 2 in a row now for Columbia.
2 in a row. California coming in here to step in for his older brother, who was likely going to be the guy this year for them. Immediately
shot
in on a
from
shot.
Brock. And right away, getting the first takedown.
Those Mantanona boys are pretty fun to watch compete.
Yeah, I think that when talking about the future of Michigan wrestling, the Mantanonas are probably at the forefront of that conversation. We are all really excited to have them, and I remember when Bo committed, it felt like a really big win for the program, knowing that there was a chance we could get Brock as well. So, kind of realizing a little bit of that vision that Sean had to get these guys out here, and kind of rekindling the California pipeline for Michigan. As they have a couple more recruits that are committed from California, and you can see why, as Brock already getting 2 takedowns on the number 25th ranked wrestler in the country as a true freshman.
Very impressive, and both attacks just getting low on that ankle, picking it up, and finishing soundly. It's not that often you see a true freshman at 165 pounds able to jump into the lineup and compete with nationally ranked guys, but these Mantanona boys are something different.
Yeah, and both of these guys having international experience, which is pretty cool to see. Brock Mantanona on the age group level, winning a world bronze medal at the juniors, and Cesar Alvin holding his own as a multiple-time Pan American medalist for Brazil, for the country of Brazil. So these guys have wrestled at all levels.
Absolutely. And Alvin, doing a great job, really. Looks like getting kind of reestablished here. He's getting to his offense now, controlling the tie-ups, being real physical right now. Did a good job circling back, getting to the center of the mat.
Yeah, and the Mantanonas, they all have such a unique style where they can kind of change levels and use their length to get to you when you feel like you're in a safe position. I think that's what they do best, and they like to work from outside ties, elbows, over ties, which is another kind of really, really hard style to go up against, because you're thinking you're in the driver's seat with an inside tie and a collar or a wrist, and they're plotting their next attack from that outside tie or elbow. And I think that it caught Alvin off guard already twice in this match.
Oh yeah, you could see it. Alvin has done a good job kind of reestablishing himself, getting position here, getting to his tie-ups, and like you said, knowing that he can't feel too comfortable in any position.
Yeah, and a beautiful low single to the body lock.
Oh boy!
And wow, Brock is going to put him on his back there. Beautiful body lock to the 3-point takedown at the buzzer.
You see that? A little smile from Brock to the crowd. That was nice.
Smile and a wink from Brock. I think he even knew that was a pretty slick transition.
Yeah, right.
Impressed himself a little bit.
Gotta love people having fun out there, This is too hard of a sport to not have some fun with it.
Yeah, I think that if you could put up against one another a wrestler's success and the amount of times they smile when they're on the mat, those might be very heavily correlated. Mm-hmm. Especially at this level. I think that the guys that are having fun, they're more likely to take it to the next level, or really bring good results.
Absolutely. One thing to point out, too, with Brock coming out here at 165 is the new rules with red shirts. You saw his brother Bo get to jump into the lineup for the Wolverines last year a couple different times. I think you're allowed to have 5 different showings, in wrestling without burning your red shirt eligibility. How helpful is that to be able to, get a look at these guys against some top competition?
Oh, it's crucial. I think, when looking at a redshirt season, you're really not getting to experience, or in the past you weren't getting to experience what it really was like to wrestle in a college dual meet or a true college setting. And getting those 5 matches, I feel like it gives you a taste of what's to come, and it kind of keeps you hungry, it keeps you fresh. And a lot of times it gives the coaches the option to say, is he ready, even as a true freshman? Because in the past, you're kind of rolling the dice as you throw that guy out there. But if you have a guy like Brock who is able to go out there and beat some ranked guys and show that he's ready to get on the podium as a true freshman, it gives you the option of maybe saying, hey, we can pull his red shirt and throw him out there.
Mm-hmm. Well, and again, getting your first action against the top 25 guy and being as aggressive and dominating in the way that he is right now, I'm sure that's going to spark some more conversations amongst the coaching staff.
Yeah, I think if you're the Michigan coaching staff here, this is a good problem to have, right? You have a guy. So. You have a guy that you can either save for the years to come, or you can put him in this season and he can make an immediate impact. And that's the kind of guys you want to recruit, right? Is the ones that are ready to go right off the bat. Especially another thing that we can touch on is the NIL era of college wrestling, where you don't know that necessarily you have a guy for 4 years. So being able to get them in and have them ready to go as soon as they get here is a major advantage.
Well, and give them, people want the chance to compete. Having the chance, whether it's on those first 5 opportunities or for the full season, you want to have that chance to get out there, throw the singlet on, and get some action. 15-3.
Yeah, and a takedown here would do it for Mantanona, which is, I think, shocking for a lot of us here. I think there's a lot of potential coming out of Brock, but to kind of see it up close and in person, the Columbia bench is probably wondering, where did this guy come from?
Right. And again, to reiterate, Cesar Alvin, highly ranked guy. He's got great wins over his career. And again, at times it looked like he was kind of reestablishing the center, reestablishing his tie-ups, but Brock has done a really, really good job continuing to be aggressive and to show the versatility of attacks and finishes that he has.
Yeah, we were talking about the word dynamic wrestler right earlier with some of the lighter weights, and I think that the Mantanonas basically embodied that term.
Ooh, right
as
back
he's
in that
looking
body
right
lock.
here for a body lock,
and the action goes out of bounds.
Yeah, you'll see them. I mean, he's transitioned from that low ankle to the body, I think, a couple times in this match. And you just don't see many guys that are able to make that kind of transition. It's almost thought of as bad technique in a way of coming up off the leg to the body. But they're just an immediate threat when they get to that body lock position. And it just makes it, that much harder to wrestle a guy like Brock or Bo or, even his brother Anthony, who was wrestling during my era. I remember they always had that kind of X factor that, you kind of worry about as an opponent, but you love as a teammate or as a coach.
Mm-hmm. Well, and then that's the other piece is it's one thing to go from the leg to the body lock, but to be ready to throw from there, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot of people get in that body lock position and really have any intention to do anything with it.
Yeah, the intention matters, right? There's the the threat of the going upper body to threaten it, but they're using it to score. And as I say that, Mantanona locks up the tech fall over the number 25th ranked wrestler in the country in Cesar Alvin.
And you gotta appreciate Alvin. I mean, you could tell he wanted to go get a takedown there. You know, he was not going to go out of this match without giving a legit attempt to go get some points and you know, show what he's capable of. And in that instance, it just didn't work out for him. He ended up giving up that final takedown for the Tech.
Yeah, and what an important point in the duel here. You know, Michigan going down the last 2 matches, losing them, and kind of getting some momentum back was Columbia. But, you know, probably the match that you think you got secured, you end up going, and not only that, but you're giving up, you know, bonus points.
Yeah, that's tough for the momentum that they were hoping to keep rolling. But, yeah, now we're going to have Jack McGill for Columbia going up against Joseph Walker. Walker just coming off of winning the Clarion Open a couple weeks ago. I was talking to him last week at the MSU Open, and he reminded me now he's got the helmet from Clarion Open and he's got a sword from the Edinburgh Open. So
full gladiator mode, just in time for the new movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, Walker is somebody, when we talk about, you know, waiting to be in the lineup, I think that he's been somebody that's, you know, had some marquee wins in tournaments and duels, but he's always found himself behind some of the best guys in the country. You know, last year, Shane Griffith coming in as a grad transfer, ended up finishing 3rd at the NCAA tournament. And, you know, Joe, that's a really tough task to be the guy that, you know, has to kind of think he's going to crack his way into the lineup and then, you know, sit back on the sidelines. And so you always wonder how they're going to respond to that. And, you know, he's had a really strong start to this season. I think he's ready to establish himself as the guy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he's a guy that you've been talking with me about, you know, just what he does in the room and how consistent he is with his preparation and everything. So you love to see a program guy like that getting his chance in the lineup.
Absolutely. And, you know, McGill here is also a senior, so you have some veterans going at it. And, you know, you can see just from the beginning of the match, right, a lot of kind of chess match being played with some fakes and from both guys, and just trying to establish a hand fight and establish your dominant tie early on in the match. Walker going to play the edge game here. Let's see if he can get this takedown.
Very close. Did a good job keeping his foot in the cylinder there.
Yeah, and great job from McGill. I mean, if you're on the edge and somebody's in on your leg, you got to realize that that's the advantage. You got to play to that advantage, and I think he did a great job there of realizing that, like I said, Walker's kind of he's working on 2 things at once there. Looking for a crusher.
Good transitions from that front headlock too, trying to still get to the ankles.
Yeah, great action here. We're still tied at 0-0, but not a boring match by any means. You know, some big attempts early on in this over-under position.
If you're Walker, you got to circle in. If you're McGill, you're trying to.
Yeah, this is a little bit of a more looks like more of a threat than a.
Yeah.
You know, you're trying to play that edge game and look at maybe driving him out of bounds, but we get a stalemate and we're back center.
Yep. Official figured they weren't really trying to do much from that over-under position. Let's get him back in the center and create some more action. Nice fake. Good response from McGill, fighting that underhook in there to clear that tie. I like the pace from Walker here. He's had a couple good fakes, a couple good attempts at the leg. Hasn't quite gotten there yet, but
yeah, the movement is there, right? And I think that he's realizing that you know, kind of like we were talking about earlier, sometimes you just got to trust the process and know that your game plan is your game plan. And as I say, that beautiful shot from Walker, just low single, right at the buzzer too. You got to love that if you're a Michigan wrestling coach.
Those takedowns that don't allow even for a chance of somebody to get an escape, that's a huge game changer in these matches, especially with the 3-point takedown. I know in practices you go over situations, scenarios, you know, 10 seconds left, down by 2, that sort of thing in your scrambles, but How often is that emphasized in practice settings about late period scoring?
I think we talk about it all the time, especially a guy that I want to give a shout out to. This is Kevin Jackson. He's coached at the world level and really is the head of the the Olympic and world team for the United States wrestling program, and I think that they like to pay attention a little bit more to statistics at that level. And so you look at those, how much of your winning percentage goes up when you get a takedown at the end of a period or the end of a match, and it really drastically increases your chances of winning. So he really came in and we emphasize and we play those positions of down by 1 with 15 seconds to go, or you got to go get a score with short time. And kind of, I think more so than playing that position is just it's a mental game of knowing what is my go-to attack with 30 seconds left or with 15 seconds left in a period. Because just being really clear about that, and I'm kind of using his verbiage here. It's like you want to be clear about what that looks like, because otherwise it's probably not going to show up in a match, right? Just you're not going to have that aha moment or that epiphany. So being able to practice that, I think he's done a great job of kind of reiterating that in our room.
Absolutely. McGill doing a really good job here. Looks like picking up the sense of urgency almost. He did a really great job being physical, getting his escape on the edge. He's kind of taken control of the center of the mat here.
Yeah, great. I think McGill has wrestled a great match. That's what's crazy about those takedowns is it's just a quick takedown, and McGill almost felt like it was a very 50-50, if not McGill more controlling center than Walker. Definitely in the second period he has been. Mm-hmm. And if you're him, you just got to, again, just keep wrestling. And Walker, you're winning, but you can't take your foot off the gas pedal.
Right. Riding time not really a factor at this point with only 28 seconds. You got to assume Walker's going to choose down here. She does. So now we'll see
Walker down.
We'll see how good Jack McGill is at riding. What his strategy is going to be from here.
Looks like we got an escape.
Yep, there we go.
And looking right for a transition takedown there is Walker. And that's really exciting to see. I know if you follow Michigan wrestling, Walker has been great on his feet.
Nice counterattack from McGill.
It was.
Wow.
And finds himself out of bounds. But as I was saying, Walker has, that's been a big point of emphasis for him, is just, being able to be quick off the bottom. And I think that as he develops this season, you're really hoping that will continue to be, one of his strong suits, weakness turned strong suits. So now let's see if he can finish the match where I think he wants to be. But McGill, all it takes is one. And then who knows?
Well, and it's going to be interesting to see the approach here from Walker as well. Nice shot from McGill. That's what I was going to say. He's like kind of gone for that high crotch to the right leg of McGill several times. He hasn't actually gotten the leg.
Yeah, it almost puts it. It looks like Walker's getting through, but he's kind of shooting it. His shoulders are a little bit too wide, and he's kind of missing the body of McGill.
Mm-hmm.
A little bit over 30 seconds remaining in this match.
Yeah, this is go time if you're McGill.
Yeah, you do not want to be ear to ear if you're McGill right now. You want to clear this tie and look for your touch and go setups.
It's a nice shrug from Walker.
Yeah, Walker doing a great job just hold position here. Stick with your basics here, your wrestling fundamentals.
Nice re-attack. And this is, if you're Walker, you almost just want to hold on to the leg. Yeah, last 5 seconds. And he gets the takedown. Good job from McGill there at the end, even trying to throw that last kind of kitchen sink effort.
Yeah, it came down to the wire, but Joe Walker is the victor at 7-1 as we go into our 184-pound match. And that match was full of, it seemed like highlights or half highlights.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of almost scores. But Walker obviously, getting those 2 scores and you know, one at the end of the, actually both at the end of periods.
Yeah.
Which again, you know, that's something that they've emphasized as a staff. So I'm sure they're going to be happy with Walker's performance right there.
Well, and again with McGill, I hate when I watch matches just end with guys losing and they're not doing anything. Like, there's no harm in giving up that takedown. He didn't give up a major. He didn't give up any extra team points. And at least he, you know, went out trying something, trying to get the win on his own.
Yeah, you want to end the match, you know, knowing that you exhausted the tank. And I think that McGill really did. It was just a matter of those 2 late takedowns by Walker. So now at 184, we're going to have a ranked Wolverine against Nick Fine from Cumberland, Rhode Island. He's a junior.
Yeah, Jaden Bullock, currently ranked 15th in the country, coming out here, originally from Virginia. Jaden's been awesome. I mean, he's been, you know, another one of those guys. He got kind of his first shot full-time in the lineup last season. Had some good success, wrestled really well at 184. His offense on his feet is really, really good. Talk a little bit about his progression over the years. I know he was a teammate of yours while you were with the program.
Yeah, it's been something special to watch, especially last year, Jaden come out. But we knew he had talent when I think he was a redshirt freshman or a true freshman, and he wrestled Aaron Brooks to a 10-7 match here in Chrysler Arena. And there was some situations where he did some things that I don't think I've seen many guys do before. So to see that, him go from that progression, and then he had some slumps with some injuries and just kind of being behind some really high-level guys. It's been really special to watch him kind of come up. And what I love about Jaden is that he kind of has a confidence that he's supposed to be here and that he's supposed to be winning and be on the podium. Even last year, I think that a lot of people saw it as a breakthrough season for him, but he was disappointed in how it finished. You know, he deserved that he believed to be on the podium. And, you know, the way that he wrestles, you can see he kind of has that tenacity on the mat that he'll wrestle some of the best guys in the country or world to a one-point match, and he's right in it. So, or he's willing to go out there and you know, just give you everything he has. So it's been exciting, and I hope that that's the same thing we get out of Jaden this season. I'm sure it is.
Absolutely. Like I referenced, ranked 15th currently by Intermat.
Yeah, what I love about Jaden is he's not afraid to let it go. So I'm sure you're going to see some blast doubles this match. You'll see some attacks from his feet. As I say that.
Lowers the level, shoots in, finds a single, lifts it up. Ooh, couldn't secure it.
Yeah, good job to get his foot down there, is Nick Fine. That, you know, in that high leg position. Usually you find yourself dead to rights,
yeah.
but
it's a precarious position to be in.
But yeah, Bullock will continue to fire. So if you're Fine, you're looking at, you know, trying to slow the match down a little bit, trying to get to your own attacks to kind of slow him down as well. I think that, you know, the higher the score of this match would favor somebody like Jaden Bullock, who likes to put up points and likes to be, you know, in big scrambles, kind of big moves in that territory. So far, though, we are scoreless, a minute and a half into the first period.
Yeah, I'm impressed right now with Fine and how he's doing a good job kind of keeping center of the mat. Not opening up too much to allow for too many opportunities for Jaden to get in there.
And Fine is from Cumberland, Rhode Island, which you love to see because, you know, Rhode Island, not necessarily your traditional wrestling state. You know, It's not one of the staple states. And so it's always great to see guys kind of branch out from some of these not so talked about states and make it to the big level.
Well, and if I remember correctly, I think so each of those states has their own state championships, and then there's a separate, like, New England championships. So they bring all those states in there together for a bigger tournament. But yeah, it's always good to see your less traditional places with some college wrestlers.
And
really
Fine looking for a takedown here. Bullock finding himself in an interesting scramble.
Wow. Very impressive movement.
And this is
both
fun
of
to
these
watch
guys.
right here. Wow. Bullock looked dead to rights. Then Fine looked dead to rights. And
This
we find
scramble
ourselves
right-
50-50.
This is worth the price of admission by itself. Fine trying to clear that ankle. Jaden trying to do the exact opposite.
And I think we're going to end this period scoreless. But not without action, that's for sure.
No points, lots of excitement.
That almost looked like a jiu-jitsu match right there. There's a lot of rolling around. Looked like Jaden was trying to get the back. And
Yeah. That was wild. But no, if you're Fine, I mean, you're probably pretty happy about where you're sitting in this match after the first period, 0-0. You know, how...
Yeah, I think if you're Fine, this is great. I mean, you're looking at 0-0. You got in on a nice shot with a very, very high probability to finish, and just kind of, whenever you get to those shots, you can't be discouraged that you don't finish. You just know that, you got to keep chipping away and keep trying to keep that, those shots in motion. So I think you're looking at this period as a win for Fine, and if you're Bullock, you're probably thinking, all right, I gotta pick it up.
Yep.
Early shot from him, but then slowed down a little bit, later in that first period.
Well, and I think what we're seeing right here is Fine is trying to make sure his knee's doing all right. You see it's got the wrap on it. That's one of those tricky things that happens sometimes with some of those scrambles where, you just get tweaked a little bit or at a weird angle or it hits the mat different. Michigan currently has 17 of the takedowns to Columbia's 5 on the duel so far. Jaden right up to his feet, looking to clear.
Jumps over, nice.
That was a nice hip over.
Great transition from that.
He's got to clear his head and clear that arm.
And the side headlock, he's got to be careful here.
Yep. Oh.
So he's going to get hit with stalling.
Ooh. Gives up the reversal and the stall call.
And I'd be interested to see if Bullock's going to try to ride or bring it back up to his feet. I think for him, he's, that's a piece that if you're wanting to be, an All-American or establish yourself as a top guy, you want to be able to work on your riding when you can, for those big matches.
Absolutely. Well, I mean, obviously there's the riding time component to it, but, also it's just you're wearing people out. You're wearing them out, you're exhausting them, you're frustrating them when they can't get up and out. And we talked about the mat returns and how mentally that can affect somebody, but almost getting out and then not.
Yeah,
it's also very discouraging.
But Fine is back up to his feet. Nice escape there. Bullock with 24 seconds of riding time, so not a factor. So if you're Bullock here, that reversal kind of, it builds your riding time, but he gets that escape and it kind of counteracts the reversal.
Mm-hmm.
So you're still looking at, I got to go get to a score here, right? If you're Bullock, and if you're Fine, you're thinking I'm fine.
Yep. It's a 1 point net gain, really. If you were going to get the escape versus the reversal and then give up an escape. But again, if you're Jaden Bullock, you're so good on your feet, feeling pretty comfortable.
And Bullock is going to choose to start the third period in the down position. To no surprise. Michigan begins the third period in the down position.
Did I miss it earlier? Did Fine choose top in the second? He must have.
Oh. I think we You might be right.
That would make more sense than Jaden getting to choose twice. So we're going to go with that. And now we see why. I mean, Fine's putting on a good ride right now. He's got the legs in.
Yeah, if he can establish this ride for the rest of the period, you know, we're going to go to overtime with that riding time point.
That's true.
So not a bad strategy there from Fine. You know, wrestling somebody that has legs, right, and it looks like he's very comfortable from the double boot position. It can be really frustrating as a bottom wrestler, especially if you can't you can't make that first move, right, to get to a hip or, you know, to shelf it and pull the leg across.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're Jaden here, it's really important that either you're not letting the leg in or you're getting that first move right away.
Exactly.
And the leg does come in.
Well, and that's the thing we've seen with Fine. He seems comfortable throwing legs on either side to at least get that established. Oh, boy, here we go.
In a weird position. Let's see how this plays out.
A little bit more rolling around.
Great job by Fine to just continue to control this position. And Bullock, if I'm Bullock, I want to get my
Yep, he's got the leg. Is he going to get that reversal again?
My hips away, and he's got to keep wrestling here because Fine is still getting riding time. And if we get stalemate, it will be Fine on top.
And now he does have the riding time at 109. If he can ride for the remaining 27 seconds, like you said, he'll get that riding time point and send it to overtime.
Yeah, the first move is crucial here for both guys, I think. And
brings him back down to the mat.
And he's got the double boots. And see, if you're Bullock, you do not want this. The flat on the belly with double boots that's a time killer. You know, it's going to take you 10 seconds just to clear that. And so I think we got a good chance we're going to overtime here.
Well, and if you're Fine, you got to still kind of look like you're working on top there so they don't blow a stalemate, but time's going to run out here anyway.
Yep. And so an interesting match we have here. You know, Fine really rising to the occasion against the number 15th ranked Jaden Bullock.
Yes, this is an impressive match here from Fine.
And a great game plan. I mean, to choose top 2 periods in a row, and I think Bullock, getting out in the second, thought that he might have a similar, you know, kind of easy task in the third, and there was a totally different attitude in the ride, I think, by Fine in the third period.
Absolutely. A lot of intentionality, knew what he was trying to do. If you're Bullock, you got to feel pretty good here. Ooh, the knee. You can see Fine reacting, grimacing right there. Hate to see that in such a good match.
Yeah, I wonder if the knee played a factor with the choice to choose top. You know, because you can see he's definitely not as comfortable here as Bullock gets in on a shot.
Now Jaden's knee is in a bad spot.
Yeah, and you don't like to see that. Just awkward position. You know, that those roll-throughs are just so dangerous for that exact reason, is you just end up in really two Gumby positions, you know, both guys usually controlling a knee. And
well, and it's tough too because you're wrestling. All your muscles are exploding at different points there, and sometimes if your quad goes right when you're tweaked at the wrong angle, it puts that much extra pressure right on that ligament. So hate to see it from a guy who's...
If Fine escapes here, he's going to get the win, which is obviously an interesting finish if we get that.
Yeah, with it being sudden victory, any point wins.
And that's going to be the match. And great match for Fine. I mean, you hate to see it end that way. You know, I think we were in for another great scramble like we saw in the first period, and Bullock ends up, you know, getting the injury time, and that's one of the rules of injury time is the other man will get choice, and in a position like overtime, the first point scorer wins no matter what position it's in. So Fine will get the upset win over 15th ranked Jaden Bullock.
really impressive win for Fine. And again, as the season gets going, you kind of figure out, you know, who's going to be able to step into the moments and win those big matches. So big impressive win for him. Here comes Jacob Cardenas. Alec was talking about him earlier on in this duel. Transfer from Cornell. Using his final season, he used up all his eligibility at Cornell, still had 1 year left to compete, and came here to Ann Arbor to wrestle for the Wolverines. And, you know, coming off of U23 silver medal, I mean, he's ready to go. Currently ranked 3rd in the country, so I'm sure he's got some big goals on this season. National championship being one of them.
Yep, and his opponent, Isaac Schmidt, from Skillman, New Jersey. He's a junior, a current junior, and he's got his hands full with Jacob Cardenas today. You know, Cardenas coming off of a U23 World Silver Medal, actually the highest placer for Team USA, so really helping Team USA there, and off to an early takedown.
It's a nice aggressive double leg. Just blasted right through the head and hands of Schmidt.
Yeah, Cardenas is you know, he wrestles at 197, but his style almost matches that of a 165 or a 157, where he's able to lower his level and change speeds so well. And you know, you don't get to see a lot of low singles or, you know, low doubles at these upper weights, but it really gives him an advantage. You know, I think at this higher weight.
Well, you wrestled a 197 for one season here at Michigan, and you know, is that kind of what you noticed? I know you like to get low on those ankles as well. I mean, talk about the reaction time for some of these big guys versus some of the smaller ones.
Yeah, I think when I started off at 197, I was trying to shoot my patented knee pull single my first few matches, and I realized I'm going to get some swipes here as Cardenas. Beautiful tilt there. But as I was saying, I shot a few of those upper-level shots, and I felt the strength in the hips of those 197-pounders, and it almost helped me get back to what I was good at, which is those lower shots. Forced me really to get back to those, and I felt that once I found that rhythm, it really did give me a massive advantage, because these guys just aren't really used to seeing that. And that was something I noticed right away when I wrestled Jacob when he came here. Was some of my shots he did a pretty good job. Great job. Another tilt. Another 4. And we might get a tech fall here in the first period. We'll see. But as soon as I wrestled him, I noticed he was doing a good job of reacting to my attacks. And then I found out because he has some of his own. And big mat return there from Jacob Cardenas.
Another Shane Sparks special right there.
I felt the ground shake a little bit on that one.
Yeah, legitimately. How much of an emphasis is there? I mean, you know, there's a little bit of excitement for anybody when you're in your first home duel for a squad. But, I mean, do you think he's a little bit more pumped up knowing he can come out here and put on a show for the crowd?
Yeah, I think, you know, as a grad transfer, it's always cool to be able to I think you get both crowds, right? You get the crowd from where you came from in Cornell. I think that they still love Jacob as that guy, but you get to kind of get the maize and blue. You get to put on the maize and blue and get that cheering section and fan section also on your side. So it's kind of a win-win. And just I'm a big believer in, you know, changing your environment every once in a while to keep things fresh. I think it's a really important part of development. And for him, actually, it was a unique situation where he, you know, at Cornell, there's no ability to wrestle as a graduate. So he was forced out of there regardless. But, you know, I think that he was really excited to come to Michigan and meshed in with the guys really well as soon as he got in on campus.
Ooh,
and what a nice misdirection.
Nice misdirection. Well, we talked a little bit about the athleticism that he brings with that size. You don't see a whole lot of misdirection low singles at 197. He's looking for that tech fall here. One more point is all he needs.
If I was a betting man, I'd think that there's a good chance he gets it. What do you think?
I think he's going to go back to that tilt. Nope, he's going to go on his feet. He does
Yeah,
not.
just a completely dominant performance so far by Cardenas. You know, and rightfully so in his Michigan debut here. You know, it seems like he's excited to be wrestling for the Wolverines, just by the way that the tenacity and the kind of aggression that he's came out with. It's easy to win over the fans when you go out there and you put 14 points up.
Well, I had a chance to interview him over the summer, and that's what he talked about is scoring points. He likes to score points. He likes to be aggressive. And, you know, evidently he meant team points as well because he's still 1 point away from that Tech fall.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see. You said go to the tilt. If he wants to end this match on the mat, which it looks like he does. And there it is. And he's going to get the 3 near fall to get a 17-0 technical fall. Jacob Cardenas in his debut for the Wolverines. Not a bad debut.
Not a bad debut at all. I always love the term technical fall, too. It wasn't a fall, but like technically it was, you know.
Great job. And the Michigan Wolverines' upcoming schedule, they're going to head to the East Coast next weekend to wrestle Duke in Virginia in their out-of-conference duels, followed by our January start of the Big Ten schedule where we'll see Maryland, Northwestern, and Minnesota. And, Kevin, I think January is almost, to me, like the official start of wrestling season because we get to see Big Ten wrestling.
Yeah, that's when the fireworks really get started. It's going to be super exciting. I mean, the Big Ten is the #1 wrestling conference and has been pretty much forever. So anytime you can see, a Big Ten duel, chances are it is 2 top 20 programs getting after it. So it's going to be an exciting season, and the Big Ten Network and Big Ten Plus is where you can find all the best wrestling.
Absolutely. And heading into our final bout of the night, I believe, so we have some options here. I want to make sure I get this correct of who we have from Columbia before I just shout out a name.
Yeah.
We'll pause on that, but a great duel so far. I think that, we were expecting, we were talking before the duel a little bit, to see some action, and sometimes in out-of-conference duels you almost see more action than in conference, knowing you probably aren't going to see these guys again until, a Cliff Keen or a national tournament. And I think it allows guys to open up and really let it fly out there.
100%. We've seen some pretty exciting matches. We got the upset for Nick Fine getting the win. We had a good battle between 27th ranked Kai Owen and 8th ranked Sergio Lemley at 141. You've got, true freshman Brock Mantanona coming out here in style against 25th ranked Cesar Alvin. So you've had a little bit of everything in this match, or duel, I should say. And here, we'll have Jabril Khurshidov, looks like, coming out here from Michigan.
Indeed it is.
Jabril against Vince Wheeler, it looks like, the sophomore from Woodbury, Minnesota for Columbia.
Great, and so another Wolverine kind of getting a chance to debut is Jabril, and I think we're in for another great match here. Michigan, I believe, has 5 heavyweights, maybe 6 now. As if you've been following closely, nice shot
that was
there.
A nice inside reach.
You don't see too many outside step high crotches.
Right. From heavyweight.
But his last name is Khurshidov, so the some Eastern European influence there.
Very impressive scramble here. As you see,
wow.
Jabril is locked. Oh, he's looking for that neutral danger.
Great
and he
takedown
finishes
from
the
Jabril.
scramble. Very impressive. Heavyweights in general have changed. This is not your father's heavyweights.
And he's looking for a Turk here.
He is. He's got that lower leg caught.
We might get some more swipes.
Very impressive. You've got plenty of time here on the clock. As long as he's got that Turk, he's in a good spot. There he goes.
Yeah, he's got to get his right arm across the face right there, which he now does.
And he
lost
the leg.
The Turk. So you kind of change one for the other there. You needed both. But yeah, I totally agree with what you're saying. That the heavyweights, they're kind of built different these days.
Yeah, I mean, you back in the day, it used to be a lot of 260, 270-pound guys just kind of pushing into each other for 7 minutes, and now you see a lot more, dynamic attacks, a lot more shots. In the last several heavyweight national champions have been very, very athletic, very mobile, a lot of good scrambles. And here we go. We've got Jabril throwing the leg in.
And he's back to that Turk position. Yep. Now he has a leg. He had an actual Turk, but he's got a leg in. He seems pretty comfortable here. So you don't want to get too comfortable.
Right. He's a little high.
Yeah, he's got his locked around his own ankle, but that's what you want to do. If you're getting high, you need to make sure you can break his hips flat, which Jabril does a nice job of there. But Mueller's doing a great job of fighting on bottom, right? When a leg comes in, you want to make sure that movement is key for you, right? If you can clear that leg and get to a hip or get to a sit, you give yourself a good chance of getting out.
Jabril doing an excellent job here of really quietly racking up over 2 minutes of riding time in that period.
I think we were so focused on him scoring back points that we didn't realize.
The riding time was racking up. Yeah, I'm surprised to see that he didn't get any back points out of that exchange. I thought maybe
I think we got some single swipes, but
yeah. Mueller very much still in this match. Starts on top in the third here, or excuse me, in the second. Another
great
nice mat return.
And if you're Khurshidov here, you want to get up and make sure you can hold on to that riding time, right? 2 minutes is a lot of riding time, but it can get eliminated pretty quick if you find yourself getting lazy on bottom. So just keep moving. And a cradle locked up.
Oh my goodness! But watch the knee. Oh, there we go. Nice job by Khurshidov.
Yeah, I give Mueller credit there, going for the cradle, but I don't think he had it totally locked up, and Khurshidov slipped out of it. It was that's a little bit of what you're talking about with the heavyweights being built different there. That might have been a death sentence for a lot of heavyweights, but really kind of just went Gumby mode there with his body.
Yeah, a lot of agility is not always what heavyweights used to be known for. Very agile move there by Khurshidov to get out of that cradle.
And the riding time racking up again. And if you're Khurshidov here, I think you're okay with riding, knowing that you can secure riding time, if you ride out this period, and that's just basically another point, right?
Well, he's doing a good job staying out to the side. He's not going to get called for stalling with the way he's riding here. Staying out to the side, looking to improve his position. Pulling arms in, throwing legs in. All the activity that you need to show that you're working to improve.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job of adjusting. He's got that cross wrist, and he's just kind of using, Mueller's movements to kind of just see where he wants to be at. If he wants to be out to the side or kind of driving knee in behind, and he's just kind of mirroring his motion really well. And he's going to secure riding time here before we go into the third period. So riding time secure. So Khurshidov technically winning 6-0 right now. Are you looking for a major here, Kevin?
I think that has to be the mentality here. I think if you're Khurshidov, we talked a little bit about some of the weights that were in flux. And I know there's a plan here for Michigan with Heinzelman coming in as a transfer in next semester. But still, you want to leave an impact in the coaches' minds as far as what you're able to do and your level of competition. So I think if you're Krashidov, yeah, you're looking to get that major and show him what you can do and give him the chance.
Yeah, he's doing a great job here. And I did want to mention that I think that, Michigan was really excited about being able to bring in Josh Heinzelman from Oklahoma. He was round of 12, at the NCAA tournament, and somebody that can make an immediate impact coming in. So
look at this. He did a good job getting the corner.
Oh,
that was close.
Yeah, he basically had that takedown, but, Mueller does a really good job of just not giving up the position, continuing to wrestle through. And
exactly right. I almost think that if you're Jabril there, you kind of figured you're just waiting for the ref to throw the 3 up, and Mueller did not let that happen. He kept wrestling through the position and ended up on top.
Yeah, if you're Mueller here, though, you got to realize that you're still losing by 3, so stall calls aren't going to do it. You got to look for a turn or either think about kicking him and getting back up to your feet. But you don't want to be here, that's for sure, especially as the time's ticking down.
Well, the way he was locked up that cradle earlier, it's almost like that's kind of what he's looking for. But
yep, and he gets hit for stalling because, I believe Mueller gets hit for stalling there because you're riding the hips, right? There's a big emphasis on, looking for a turn this year. And so if you're just sitting there with a leg in riding the hips, staying, neutral, then,
it's tough to get hit for stalling, though, when you're winning. Or
yeah.
When you're losing, I should say.
Yeah, especially in the top position.
Right.
And Jabril Krashidov is going to do it. Final score 6-3 to end our dual meet. Michigan going to be the winners 28-9.
Big win. You kind of expected this sort of lopsided victory for Michigan, coming into this duel. But credit to Columbia, they still got that upset win at 184. Had some good wins at 49 and 57 as well. So very fun duel and certainly exciting stuff here. I believe we're going to get a sideline interview, it sounds like, with Dylan Ragusin coming up.
Yeah, it does. Final score 28-9. University of Michigan Wolverines, 15th ranked Wolverines,